right, we want to spend just a few minutes with this document from the Cherokee Women to the National Council about the selling of some land. And on the one hand, we can see the ways in which women have maintained some of that power that we saw in some of those creation stories that we started our course with. On the other hand, we can see ways in which perhaps because of assimilation, there's been some loss to maybe some of the agency and power that they had. In that first section there where they write about their duties as mothers, this we could interpret a couple ways. On the one hand, it's a reflection of that matriarchal community and the power of mothers in those women-centered communities. On the other hand, we could also put it within the context of the call of domesticity, where women have power and use their role as mothers to argue for more power and more change. Now, that next paragraph there, where it starts off, our beloved children and headmen of the Cherokee Nation, we address you, warriors and council. We have raised all of you on the land which we now have. So on the one hand, right, there's again their role as mothers, right? Noting that this is the land that we have. So again, seeing the land as ours, as theirs. In that second paragraph there, that last sentence really highlights kind of both ideas. On the one hand, they're saying your mothers, your sisters ask and beg of you not to part with any more of our lands. We say ours. You are our descendants and take pity on our request. So on the one hand, they're highlighting their role as mothers and as sisters. We could put that in the context of matriarchy, or we could put that in the context of the call of domesticity. We could definitely put the land is ours in the context of matriarchy and kind of women-centered spaces and having some power. But then they say, we beg of you, take pity on our request. That pleading tone suggests that maybe there's been some loss of maybe some power that they had before. So I think that sentence particularly highlights the ways in which this isn't either one way or the other, but maybe it's a little bit of both, because we can see both ideas there. On the one hand, having power and agency, the land is ours, but on the other hand, saying, take pity on us. We beg of you not to do this. Again, they refer to the lands as ours 2 more times. They put this in the context of a warning. Don't get rid of any more of our land. We do this as your mothers and your sisters. So we see those ideas again in that last paragraph that I've kind of put in bold, some of those key sections that I've talked about there for you. So again, I don't know that we can have one conclusion over the other, that these women have totally lost some of their all of their power in assimilation, because they clearly maintained some of it. But it does look, though, with the words like begging and taking pity, that maybe they don't have the same amount of power that they had before. Okay, hopefully that's a kind of helpful summation of some of those bold parts there on the outline. If you've got any more questions, I hope you'll send me an email or put a question in the discussion board that we have on Canvas. Hope you're doing well. Take care.